Hello, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I wanted to start earlier, but got delayed for various reasons, trying to solve the audio problems that I've been encountering lately. Maybe it's the camera and mic, because the camera has a mic with it. My feeling is that it's not that, because it does sound clear when it's coming through clear. I think it's a connectivity issue or some, I don't know, I can't get it. I can't figure it out. So we'll see. I'll watch the playback. I noticed my when I did the summer ale, Samuel Adams summer ale last night, the audio was garbly at times. I had to reset it, and then I don't know. I can't figure it out. Like I said, well, today we're doing Jim Beam Choice again. Yeah, I know, I'm wearing it out. May as well wear it out. It's going away, as the company told me in 2017. Can you find it? You may be able to find it. But it won't be easy, I don't think. Canadian Club, yeah, this probably sold in every town in America at least 1 or 2 stores. It's not sold at every store here, but most of them have it. This is a plastic 375 milliliter bottle. That's a glass 750 milliliter bottle. Canadian Club introduced in 1858, the original one, and Beam's Choice introduced in 1957. Neither one of these is the original recipe. They used to be 90 and 86 proof. That's been reduced to 80 proof for both of them. All right. Wanted to get that set up so people can make comments if they care to at this early hour. Mr. Tank says, hi, Ronald. Hello, Mr. Tank, and good morning, gentlemen, says Zach Coop. Good morning. Well, not the original recipe, but they're both aged 5 years now. Beam's Choice is charcoal filtered. I should use past tense in that one. Was charcoal filtered. Like I say, it's out of production. So this is just sort of like a, memorial taste challenge. But like I said, these things can be on the shelf for years. I think that's a 2014 bottle, so you may run across it, all right? Canadian Club is aged in once used charred oak barrels. It's actually shipped to the United States and aged here. Well, that's it. Look, we're at the end of the road. No more Canadian Club. And I'm not going out and buying anymore because there's no need to do that. Maybe I'll get one of the other variants at some future point. I have so much backlog right now. Oh, that's a little too much. Alcohol eggs. I would have liked to pour half of that, but there's no use keeping the little remnants. JB. So Canadian Club, distilled in Canada, shipped from that country across the border into Illinois, where it is bottled, and then it's shipped across back either into Canada for sales, or it's shipped around the world for sales. They're both owned by Beam-Suntory. Okay, and the Canadian Club is very popular. The Jim Beam Choice is very practically unknown these days. T-Jet says, good morning, fellas. Good morning, T-Jet. Jose Miguel says, shout out to Chicago Jose soccer team. Yep, Chicago would appreciate it. Hello, Jose. If my audio sounds all right, y'all can let me know that. If it sounds garbled, I'll get so dismayed. I don't want to buy new equipment and then find out it's not the equipment, because I don't think it is. I'm not using Google Chrome for this Hangout, though. I couldn't use Firefox because it won't let you use Firefox anymore. It's saying Firefox is not compatible to Google Hangouts at this time, and it has not changed. Google Chrome seems to be where I've been encountering this garble issue for the last few months. No, few weeks, really. So let's look at this through Internet Explorer. I've got Microsoft Edge for the reading your comments, but I've got the video routed through Internet Explorer, so I had to use that for this old Logitech equipment. Oh well, I guess they're compatible with each other. They're both the same versions of the different versions of the same thing. Yeah, the sun is coming up. We have a tropical storm that's hitting the shore now on the Texas-Louisiana border. It's brought a lot of a lot of rain, some wind, nothing too major, I'll say, for here. Now, other places have flooded, so I can't discount it totally. Alcohol eggs for both. Standard gold amber for both. I was very impressed with the Canadian Club, okay? Honestly, people told me, oh yeah, we know about CC. My father said, CC and 7, that's well known. And I told him, I don't know anything about it, honestly. People kept telling me, try it. So I said, okay, I'll try it. And I couldn't find it at Mathern's. Walmart had it, but it was $12, $11.99 for a regular size glass bottle. I said, if I could find a half size bottle, that would be better. And I did find it at Old Time Saver here in this parish, St. John the Baptist Parish. And it was $6 for the half size plastic bottle. Well, it's the same price, 6 for the half, 12 for the full. Okay. T-Jet, how are you, Ron? I like Canadian Club. It's decent for a Canadian whiskey. I enjoy it very much mixing it with Coke. Definitely better than Windsor Canadian. I believe that's also a Beam-Suntory brand, Windsor Canadian, which I've never had. Although that's in a book I got at the library, famous whiskeys from around the world, and Windsor Canadian was in there. Okay, I have them mixed up enough. Can't tell them apart. Well, they look the same. The issue with the wheat beer, some people say, well, one had a higher level of foam, and that tipped it off, we think, to you. No, it didn't, because my eyes were closed, and I mixed them up so well that both of them were putting foam on my lips, so I couldn't tell. That was a shock, because I thought that Weihenstephaner would be a clear winner over the Samuel Adams Hefeweizen, and they both tasted good. They both had their own unique attributes, and I mixed them up well, and I couldn't tell them apart. I got them mixed up. I said that the Weihenstephaner was Samuel Adams, and I said Samuel Adams was Weihenstephaner, and I looked at the bottom of the glass, and I said, oh, I can't believe it. Which was remarkable in the sense that people were saying it's going to be a clear difference. One is so much higher quality than the other. You should be able to, basically anyone could easily tell, but that was not the case. And I think Samuel Adams beers are an easy target. We say, oh, they are. And I'll say it too. I'll criticize, but this one was pretty interesting. Now back to this. The one on the left, it's spicy. It's got some alcohol notes, but it's not strong. Spicy fruit. Excuse me. It's really just spiciness and dried fruit, and that spiciness is making me think perhaps rye. It's got a little rye note. Maybe Canadian Club does, but I thought I remember Canadian Club having sort of a candy sugar. Maybe that's there. Yeah. Okay. Other option. Oh, this is a stronger, sweeter aroma. Some spice. not too much spice. I think it has more sweetness, candy sugar. That's kind of hard. The Jim Beam versus the Jack Daniels was tough. The Jack Daniels Black Label, the old number 7, that was tough. That was tough. It was a little easier doing the Jim Beam choice versus the Jack Daniels number 7, the green label. I don't know why, but it was easier to tell them apart. I did conclude, though, that the flavors were so close to each other as far as quality that I wouldn't pay a penny more for Jim Beam, Jack Daniels over Jim Beam choice, though. I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to pay $22.99 for a bottle that's the same size as one that's $14.99 and the quality is comparable. I'm not. You may. I can only base these on what I'm perceiving, okay? So I understand there's a lot of differences of opinion with flavor and taste, and everybody's got their own ideas. But my only reference point is what I'm tasting. I taste it, so, and I do the best I can. So, but there's going to be differences of opinion. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it already. But let's see. I'm going to sip these slow this morning. I'm going to sip them, so I'm not finishing them off here. No way. It's too much. Well, they'll be fine. Sip them over the next few hours. It's actually really not that much. These glasses are tiny. This is Diamore glasses, but oh well, better to be on the safe side. And that will be the only liquor I'll be drinking within the next 24 hours. These 2 glasses, and that'll be it. You say, what about beer? Well, beer is beer. This is liquor. That's beer. Okay. I'll only be drinking water at the Knights of Columbus meeting. 2 reasons. 1, if you drink beer at the meeting, you got to go to the restroom, and I have to sit through the meeting and record everything. I'm the scribe for the council. I got to write everything down. 2nd reason, I want to be sharp on my game, and I don't want any kind of chemical influence at all when I'm trying to write all this. It's a tough job in a way. I can see why they wanted me to do it, because who would want to do it? Everybody's talking fast. You're saying, what? What'd you say? What'd you say? Trying to write it all down. So we'll do all the drinking before the evening time. Don't worry, they'll make up for it. They'll pick up my slack. If you've ever gotten involved with the Knights of Columbus, I think they do wonderful work for charity. Okay, but their drinking is prodigious, and I didn't say problematic. I just say it's impressive, and that probably is the case for other fraternal organizations, I would assume. Wow, this is sugary in the taste, though. Caramel, fruit, the dried fruit. It's amazing how they can take corn, water mainly, but corn, barley malt, rye, yeast, and cook it and filter it and age it using various methods and get these rich, this rich plethora of flavors. Same thing with beer. It's amazing. Now, when you get the flavored beers and all, well, yeah, okay, they added all this flavor into it. Well, yeah, they added chocolate nibs. So yeah, okay, it tastes like chocolate. But I'm talking about these Reinheitsgebot beers, the ones that are made according to the German purity law. And all they have is 4 main ingredients. You get this huge bouquet of flavors. That's the impressive thing. Not the added flavors, which is, cheating, I guess. Oh, well, now, hey, a noticeable rye note. Rye. I want to suddenly eat a Reuben sandwich for some reason. By the way, I ate a salad this morning. For breakfast. Okay, simple salad. you know, romaine, some carrot slices in there, 1 green olive, stuffed with pimento, of course. A few little flakes, you know, of the fried onions, some Polish style sauerkraut, and that, you know, mayonnaise type dressing, whatever they call that stuff with the sweet pickles in it. I don't think I'll buy that again. I'd rather just have straight mayonnaise, honestly. And it's okay. I think I'll go and buy some Ken's steakhouse dressing again. They always have it on sale around here. So the candy sugar, the rye, candy sugar, 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 rye. Yeah. And I don't know why I have my eyes closed still. And mossiness in greenwood and some char from the charcoal. Oh, well. T. Jess says, is the tropical storm bad? Is it Cindy? I can't Renette what they named it. Renette, remember? No, it's pretty minor. You get these storms in June and they're typically sort of weak. Not to say if you're getting huge amounts of rain, that's a good thing, but it's not too, we're not talking about Katrina over here or Rita or Camille or Betsy or anything like that. Or Audrey. Sam Adams is middle of the road as far as brew goes. Not a bad thing at all, though. Yeah, I agree with that. But it's good middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it within a certain context, it's nice. And you figure you're paying $14.99 for a 12-pack? Canadian smells like a Canadian whiskey with bourbon notes and flavor and smell. I think that's right. I don't have enough experience to... T. Jess says, Knights of Columbus for the win, brother. I'm glad I became a knight almost 5 years ago, and I am a 3rd-degree knight. No, I'm not in the patriotic degree. They changed the names, right? They don't use the term 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th degree anymore. They use membership degree, and the 4th is the patriotic degree. I can't remember those terms. And then, of course, the 4th degree has all these, whatever you would call it, sub-exemplifications, like faithful navigator. If you remember that movie, Rosemary's Baby, Hutch, he was sort of like the faithful navigator in the movie. He was trying to guide them toward, you know, the right-hand side, toward the good, the Christian side. They were clueless, or at least the wife was clueless to a large extent, and admitted she was a lapsed. She was not a practicing Catholic, which put her in a danger zone. And if you recall, her husband was indifferent to spiritual issues, and so he was able to be corrupted very easily by the left-hand side, the sinister side. And but Hutch, you know, he was sort of like that moral force, that archetype in the movie. That movie is very similar to Pinocchio. If you watch it carefully, you say Pinocchio is similar to Rosemary's Baby. Okay. Yes, because they both use archetypes. Pinocchio uses the clueless, sort of morally suspect human, a puppet that became, and that's a good term, a puppet, but he became a human. He was a human. Later, he became fully formed as a human, right? So, like in the story, he was like a pilgrim, like he was not fully where he needed to be. Sort of like us on Earth, where we're like pilgrims, but we're not where we think we're home, but we're not home. But that's where we're going to go one day, home. But so Pinocchio is like the archetype of sort of clueless. His morals are questionable, sort of like us here, people, humans. And then he had this voice. Jiminy Cricket, right? Do right. He's trying to pull him towards the right side. Do right, do right. Don't get pulled into this sinister side. Sort of like, right, so he's the voice of conscience, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, right? Telling Pinocchio, do right, do right. But then you've got the Lost Boys in that island, and they're saying, come to the dark side. Enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. And of course, the whole purpose is to entrap him and then bring him down the wrong road. And so that was this similar themes in that 1968 movie, where you've got the voice, the navigator, and the, of course, there's differences. You know, you just had a single person, Pinocchio. Here you have the Pinocchio character, which is the wife, Rosemary, and then you have the sinister husband. So I don't recall a friend in Pinocchio. All right, anyway, I ought to do movie analytics, huh? All right. I think it's a clear choice here. I don't think this is a mystery. I'm not hearing any comments about my audio, so that must be fine now. I'm going to check, but I think we might have solved the problem. TJ says, you're completely right. I think on the thematic analysis of those two movies, or two stories, I could be somewhat correct, because I like to look at archetypes, you know. No, I do not follow Carl Jung. But a lot of writers do, so you'll notice archetypes in most movies, books, the music industry. Look at the band Judas Priest. Their whole career was almost built on songs based around archetypes, right? Their whole career, think about that. Invader, Dreamer, Deceiver, Painkiller, Tyrant, Exciter. You ever notice that? No one else noticed that? I noticed that. Their songs are always about an archetype. You need to try the Evan Williams 1738 Sour Mash Bourbon. It's become my go-to whiskey for a while now, says Zach Coop. You know, it's like beer. There's so many, you just can't try them all. I mean, I ought to do a video touring my cabinet. Of course, then people would try to do an intervention. But I have so many things to cover. You just can't get to it. It's incredible. And it just starts to like spin out of control. It becomes this sort of like crazy. It just gets crazy. And they say, try this, try that. And now I'm thinking I need to go, while I still have some money left over this month in the budget, I need to go to Dorgnax and get that bottled in bond brandy, the Christian Brothers bottled in bond. It's called Sacred Bond, the first ever bonded brandy. It's like $25 a bottle. It's expensive, you know, sort of, but I'm thinking, yeah, and if I keep putting it off, they'll discontinue it. You know what I mean? I'm going to get stuck with it. I've done that before with beer, and I waited and I got screwed because it got discontinued. But then, of course, I want to get the Christian Brothers VSOP. Hey, you know what? Maybe I have enough money to buy both. But then I want to get the Parmesan Vin Rosé and the Parmesan Rosé. One is in California, one is a US produced. You see how tough it is to do all this shopping? TJ says, Cretonk says, morning. Good morning. Me once again drinking trash boxer ice lock. Oh yeah, you're 23 years old. Man, if I'm 23 years old, I'm telling you right now, I am not going to drink boxer, okay? If I'm broke, I didn't drink beer back when I was 19 years old. I was drinking soft drinks. Big mistake. I should have been drinking beer back in 1987. I would have done much better. It was healthier. It's a healthier product. Plus, I could have started my can and bottle collection back in 1987 and had 30 years on that. And I could have gotten so many nice things, but I was lost in space, sort of like Pinocchio. I was clueless. Well, yeah, I damaged my body with, you say, with alcohol, huh? You damaged your body with alcohol. No. I damaged my body with soft drinks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Czech drinks from Winn-Dixie, store brand stuff. That's the more dangerous product, in my opinion. Oh, well, didn't know at the time. I didn't know. My mother knew. She was always saying, don't drink that stuff. She had no problem with beer. She had a problem with people drinking people call them pop or soda pop in other states. We call them soft drinks down here. The white people say soft drinks and the black people say cold drinks. There's different ethnic idioms. So white people say, I'm going to drink a soft drink, and the black person will say, give me a cold drink. T-Jet says, I can't drink more than 8 to 10 without puking. 8 to 10, yeah. Yeah, that's a little broke, unemployed. Unemployed, I don't understand that in a way, because I've always been able to get a job in basically a snap. I just go around, no matter what the job is, I just go around saying, I'd like a job, and they hire you, And you can move up in the world of whatever you're doing, right? You can go to McDonald's, and before you know it, I've known people that went to Taco Bell and they were 18 and graduated from high school and worked there as frying taco shells, and they kept working, and pretty soon they were a district manager. Yeah, they don't really care about your education. They care about your abilities. True story. Zach, I agree with you about the soft drinks. I try to stick with tea or water. Yeah, I drink tea. Water. Yeah, water. Not drinking beer. Right. Coffee. Oh, yeah. I'm going to call it now. I've been on here almost 30 minutes. I'm calling it. Uh-oh. I was supposed to drink this later, right? But you know how it goes with these kind of things. You're drinking it, and so it's a social lubricant. You start talking, blah, blah, blah. You're carrying on. Before you know it, but that's a danger. If you're at your house, no problem. If you're out on the road, you're going to have a real problem, especially with the onerous drinking and driving laws, where you could be arrested even though your driving performance indicates no impairment whatsoever. But they have those sort of like East Germany type roadblocks. And you can be arrested without probable cause, in fact. That's another story. You say, but I was operating my vehicle in the most exemplary manner. What did I do? I didn't cross a double yellow line. I wasn't speeding. Oh, no, we just, this is not a free country anymore. This is sort of like the Soviet Union. Well, all right, enough of that. I'm a lawn care worker. I just tried to save money by drinking bad beer. Yeah, but I ought to do a video series on trade-offs. You can actually live a fairly comfortable life with a fairly low income. And this is true too. But anyway, this is, I think on my right side, it's Jim Beam choice. Because there's too much green wood, there's too much mossiness. I don't know what it is about Jim Beam, but there's a moss, a mold. I'm really used to mold around in Louisiana. Everything's covered with mold. That's why people blow their nose all day long, right? Tell me about it. I got a DUI a year ago and I'm still messed up a year later. Yeah. And people are going to take, people always take it the wrong way, even though they know what I'm talking about. They just choose to be obtuse. I'm not saying anybody should drink any alcohol and drive a vehicle. That is certainly not what I'm saying. But people they're not that stupid. They're not as stupid as they claim to be. You know what I mean? I'm saying that the DUI laws and the practices are onerous and unjust. They have these speed traps or these roadblocks, and they catch you, and they're not looking to catch you to keep people safe. They're looking to catch you to make money. It's a revenue stream. Same thing with speed limits. It's all about revenue streams. Now the air conditioner blower motor might obscure my audio because that's loud. So I'm going to check now. I think it's pretty clear. Canadian Club, sweet, candy-like, very enjoyable. Jim Beam choice, mossy, greenwood, very enjoyable as well. Yeah. Yep, I got it. Jim Beam, Canadian Club. So say what you want about Jim Beam, and I hear a lot of bad chatter about Jim Beam. People saying, oh, Jim Beam is horrible. It's the worst. No, it's not horrible. And it's far from the worst. To me. Me. It's a quality product, really. And it's distinctive. It has like real fine, distinct characters that you just almost can't ever get it wrong. Now, I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know why there's some kind of why it's fashionable to rip on Jim Beam. Maybe they're doing something I don't know about, but I think people that criticize it might want to think about it a little more, you know, like do some experimentation with Jim Beam, do some thinking and drinking with it, perhaps. Maybe you've misjudged it or you've bought into the hype, whatever. Same thing with, like, you say, oh, Lord, no, he's going to start talking about Budweiser again. Yes, because that's another product that's unfairly slammed. You know, Budweiser, it's so fashionable to say, and with a lot of the beer snobs, whatever, if you show them a can of Budweiser, it's like a crucifix to a vampire. They immediately seize. They go into a sort of a seizure, and they'll start saying crazy things and becoming very agitated. It's like, wow, I just showed you a can of Budweiser. I didn't, you know, are you a vampire and the sun came up? I mean, what is all this? And they say all these crazy descriptors. And same thing with these common whiskeys. And what do they, it's like it's like a meme now, a meme. Everything got to taste like airplane glue, right? Go and read the whiskey reviews. That's a common thing. Like one person said it, everybody copies it. Oh, airplane glue, airplane glue. And then with beer, Budweiser, it tastes like urine. It's like, no, it does not taste like that. I know I'm not saying anything against what you're saying. DUI laws are BS here in Oklahoma. Yeah, we're not saying that people should drink and drive, and we're not saying that there's not a reason for laws against impaired driving. You see that? But here's where intelligence comes into play. You take a good idea. Let's not have people driving impaired. But then what they do is local, state, and U.S. government. They take it and they use it as a weapon just to shake people down to get revenue, you see. If you drive very fast, yeah, that could be dangerous too, right? But they don't care about that. It's not a safety issue. It's a revenue stream issue, okay? So this is what these things are used for. And we can look at that in world affairs, politics, military. They use these things as pretext for something else. It's not the goal that they're trying to accomplish is really not related to the goal that they talk about. It's a pretext. Okay. So this was I thought, nah, this is going to be kind of like a ho-hum taste challenge. You know, you can see the sun is up now, right? Dawn Busters. It's a Dawn Busters. And now we're past June 21st, so every day is going to be darker a little longer, right? In this pretend time. Daylight savings time is not real time, it's pretend time. And of course, relativists that follow the Einstein thematic, going to say all time is pretend time, whatever, you know. But I'm glad I did it because the Jim Beam choice does have a distinct profile, and I've got a good 70% left of it, probably 75% because of the top up here. So probably 75% left. So it'll be interesting to explore more of it. So I appreciate you watching this. I'm going to look at the playback, see about the audio. If there's no audio issues, I think I've solved the problem. I'll just use Internet Explorer. Yeah, we're going to go back to 1997, people. All right. Thank you for watching this video production.